Guru Maharaj, upholding the ethics of the Guru Shishya Parampara, followed his Guru's directive in letter and spirit. He dedicated his entire life towards propagating this little known but unique method of meditation and influenced thousands of spiritual seekers who he came into contact with, without any discrimination based on religion, social, or economic status. Due to Guru Maharaj's efforts and Dada Guru's blessing, the Satsang's popularity increased at a fast pace. In 1931, Dada Guru Maharaj personally attended the first spiritual congregation, or Bhandara, organized by Guru Maharaj in Ada, where he used to reside during that time. Let us now explore the origins of Dada Guru, also known as Param Sant Sri Ramachandra Ji Maharaj. He was born in 1873 in Manipuri in northern India. He studied English, Urdu and Farsi and worked as a government official in Farrukhabad. Although as a young man, Lalaji, as he was lovingly called, imbibed religious virtues from his mother, his spiritual journey did not truly begin until he received initiation from a spiritually enlightened man, Maulana Shah Fazal Ahmad Khan Sahib, also known as Hazur Maharaj, a follower of Islam. This great Sufi saint, Hazur Maharaj, took the revolutionary step of imparting spiritual knowledge to a disciple who was not a follower of his own religion, thus exemplifying that spirituality is above and beyond the barriers of religion, caste, and creed. He facilitated the enlightenment of Dada Guru Maharaj Ji, thus setting in motion the events that would culminate in the establishment of Ramashram Satsang. The Rs 150 commemorative coin that you see here was released recently, marking the 150th birth anniversary week of Dada Guru Maharaj Ji. It is a tribute to a saint who promoted the evolution of human consciousness, thus rendering a great service to mankind, and with whose blessings Ramashram Satsang Mathura came into being. Let us now introduce some other saints in the Ramashram Satsang family. An epitome of piety, purity, and compassion, Jia Ma was spiritually empowered and had been declared spiritually proficient by 3 gurus, Dada Guru Maharaj, Mahatma Raghuveer Dayalji, and Fakir Maulana Abdul Ghani Khan Sahib. This was unprecedented at that time. For Jia Ma, all followers were her children. She treated everyone in the family with love and compassion and tirelessly attended to the ones who needed help. Pandit Mihilal Ji and Guru Maharaj's eldest son, Dr. Brijendra Kumar Ji, conducted satsang activities under Jia Ma's guardianship. Pandit Mihilal Ji played a very important role and made extensive contributions to the propagation and proliferation of the satsang. The current form of the satsang in India is mainly due to Pandit Ji Maharaj's ardent hard work. He held the important post of the editor of the Sadhan magazine for several years, and his contribution to the satsang literature has been immense. Dr. Brijendra Kumar Ji worked closely with Pandit Ji in shaping the satsang. Subsequently, several prominent personalities like Hemendra Kumar Ji and Narendra Kumar Ji served the satsang and are continuing to do so. One of them is respected Sanjeev Kumar Ji. Sanjeev Kumar Ji is a meditation practitioner with over 40 years of experience. He has been facilitating guided meditation sessions in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area and across the US for the last 2 decades. Sanjeev Ji is also the president of Ramashram Satsang Mathura Incorporated. He believes that by following the meditation technique developed by his grandfather, Guru Maharaj Ji, it is possible to reduce the impact of stress, anxiety, and depression that modern life places on the mind and body. He is strongly motivated to make a meaningful impact in people's lives and increase the peace and happiness we can experience day to day by following the peaceful lifestyle promoted by the principles of Satsang. Throughout the workshop, you will be guided by an experienced spiritual leader, Sanjeev Ji, who will help you learn the technique to find inner peace and overcome stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. You will also have the opportunity to interact with other like-minded individuals during the breakout session after the meditation. Here, during the question and answer session, you will be able to ask any questions that you may have after experiencing the meditation session. We believe that inner peace is essential for a fulfilling life, and we hope that this workshop will help you find that peace within yourself. We urge you to approach the workshop with an open mind, be receptive to new ideas and techniques, and participate actively in the session. We wish you a rewarding and enriching experience during the workshop. Thank you for joining us today.
So happy Saturday, everyone. And as you were listening, this whole process started in the early 1900s. So today, actually, I want to take you back to the 30s, when I think in the first congregation, where there were very few people, Dada Guru Maharaj, my grandfather's guru, talked about what's the goal and what's the method, and are we distinguishing method and the goal properly, or we think that the method itself becomes we get so entrenched in it that itself becomes a thing. So here I've talked about this 5 steps to inner peace several times, and there are videos we could probably share in the chat. So top of the pyramid, 5 steps, like 5 milestones, big milestones, and where you get to, as my grandfather would refer to, is the target state would be the ocean of peace, abundance of peace, light, and love. So peace, light, and love at the top of the pyramid, if that's the goal, the paths, up there could be multiple. So what I thought today, I would, talk about one of the first discourses in a congregation done by Dada Guru Maharaj, who we were listening about. So basically, first thing, satsang can help us achieve the ocean of peace, right? The target state, as we were looking at in the diagram, is like the abundance of light, love, and peace. And in its purest form, light represents knowledge, deep and clarity of purpose in life, and so on and so forth, and unconditional love for everyone, and unconditional giving that comes with it, etc. And the empathy and the whole deep compassion, and then everlasting peace or joy at the top of the pyramid. So this is the climb, and as I think it was mentioned, that Dada Guru Maharaj, he attained enlightenment at 18, and Guru Maharaj met with him during the plague in the 1900s, and then once he achieved what he referred to as ocean of peace, which was also fairly early, around 1919, he was then given the directive to share this with others. And so I thought today, let me go back to those early days. So what Dada Guru Maharaj, my grandfather's guru, talked about was that if you start ascending this spiritual mountain or this pyramid with heavy baggage of worldly ambitions, then, so the more heavier the baggage, the breathlessness and the harder the climb. So it's advisable to travel light here. So resume. So give up the good and bad desires, because that's where peace is, and resume the ascent carefully. And this is, not to say that you don't have, and I think he will come to that, worldly duties have to be done, but then getting caught up in, this attachment is where the whole problem lies. As Buddha says, all attachments lead to misery. So everyone ought to discover the real spiritual path. That's what he mentioned. And then ask this question that we need to look at: are we distinguishing the method from the goal? Are we progressing with the notion that our method is our ultimate goal, or we are actually aware of the real goal, the final destination? The methods to get to the goal differ based on ideologies, religion, and the goal, if we look at that as self-realization or salvation, then we need to then start thinking about that destination and what will take us there fast enough. The real spiritual path is to keep the heart clear of any desires or lust. Many of us get distracted with things as they climb up, and it's very well documented and demonstrated that as you climb up this pyramid, you get distractions, you get mental powers. For example, to become aware of future events, or to attain or show psychic powers, and and then you can influence people, gain respect, and all that. So, but what the other Guru Maharaj that then questioned was like, is that the goal? And he said, there is no promise as you go up the path that you would be excused of the sins or spared on the final judgment day. And if you will be successful in all worldly matters, and so prosperity and cure of diseases and all that. And believe it or not, I mean, a lot of people just start this process with that. There is also no fixed period. That question comes up again and again. That would, when would I get into really deep immersive meditation and attain internal happiness and feeling of detachment? So, and he says, like, even spiritual experiences and dreams that come true, all this can happen, and there is no surprise there, but that shouldn't be the baggage that we carry. Then he says, like, there are some external aspects and internal aspects that need to be considered or understood for any path that you take upwards. So our behavior towards others, how clean, pure, and noble it is. Our character should be shaped according to, whatever path you're taking, there would be instructions there. So our dealing with others should be truthful, honest, filled with kindness, helping, aptitude, and so on and so forth. So, and then you should consider the right of others, including spouses, children, relatives, neighbors, even the society in general, the community. We should be mindful of our duties towards them. So that's another thing. Like, just because, it's like, I am not having good or bad desires doesn't mean that you shouldn't be mindful of your duties. We must be careful in discharging our duties conscientiously in business and in service. Avoid speaking lies, deceive others, acting dishonestly, stealing, falsely blaming someone for things, and so on and so forth. So he's saying that these external aspects needs to be considered and followed rigorously for those who want to progress upwards in spiritual practice. And then he comes to internal aspects, faith in your practice, remembrance, connection, feeling the presence. And there should be little attachment to worldly objects and, being satisfied and content with what you got, to remain happy in all conditions. And that is another thing Guru Maharaj emphasized quite a bit, that when you do spiritual practices, your inner happiness, which is not attached to things and material stuff, that inner happiness continues to increase. So, remaining happy in all conditions, content with what you earn, and so on, controlling your anger, avoid developing a superiority complex just because, and so on and so forth. So shouldn't be envious. And so it's like, I was reading this and I was thinking about, yamas and niyamas, and every ideology and religion talks about some of these things. And he mentioned all these matters are essential for spiritual advancement. Correctly conducting external duties and maintaining purity of inner thoughts. Because if thoughts are polluted, then physical actions will be adversely affected as well. And if there is a lack of feeling of devotion and love, then prayer or worship cannot be performed appropriately. So for the most part, it's like, if you don't do it right, you would not get the right results. And then, so if you get into any approach that climb, and you want to climb up through the 5 steps on the pyramid, you got to keep this external and internal considerations. Serving others, it's the duty of ours to share and keep money aside for philanthropic work. And this, if you don't do that, he said, like, it causes hurdles in the spiritual path as well. The acts of practice, austerity, philanthropy are considered all noble acts, and so spiritual advancement, it requires all the above as well. But at the end of the day, the internal aspects, like this is inner satsang. So control over your mind is essential. Eventually, once you come to the 3rd step, it's all about the mind. So control over your mind is essential, as spiritual practices cannot be perfected, cannot be continued for long without that. The mind, if left to its own devices, will cause the situations that lead to committing mistakes. And that is why it is most essential to keep, mind under control. So then he says that, it's hard. You need like second pair of eyes and ears, because it's hard to understand your own inner shortcomings. And even if you understand, then you might not know what's the right method to correct it. And then even if you know the right methods, then he says the resistance of the mind makes it difficult to act on it. So in order to overcome these hurdles, a guide, a mentor, a guru is needed. That's what his take was. One who can assess the situation, provide some timely cautions, guidance, steering clear, of hurdles, distractions, wrong turns, So he is like the GPS system as you do the ascent to the top. Um, you know, then he says, so he, been there, done that, that person would be able to provide their own experiences and how to achieve control over the mind and how to develop a healthy mind that helps in spiritual practice. So, and that's the key to getting to the top. So I thought this was the essence of what I think probably 1931. So in the 7-volume book my grandfather wrote, he gave the verbatim there. Anyway, so let's practice now. So basically, what Guru Maharaj did was whatever he learned, he kind of packaged it for more effective progress towards the top of the pyramid. And whatever he had learned from the other guru, all the aspects that helped him are part of this practice. And so I sometimes refer this satsang as inner yoga also, because out of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga, 4 limbs are emphasized here. And that's what, like, the first 2 is where we start inward orientation and concentration, and then get into deep meditation, and that leads to higher consciousness. So, okay, so how do we get inward orientation, and what do we manifest? So let's talk about that. So first, as we had earlier talked about, like, core aspect of the sessions here is like get into deep silent meditation on transcendental energy. So how do we do that? First, for this period of meditation, close your eyes and sit in a relaxed and still posture. So closing your eyes, you're stopping the sensory input, and when your body moves during the meditation, your mind moves with it. So we want to minimize that distraction of mind for the period of meditation. So eyes lightly closed, and then observe your body. There's no strain. You're relaxed. And now let's try to feel the presence of transcendental energy in form of light. And that light is entering our heart and distributing throughout our body, and we're becoming one with this light. So the essence is that, we're trying to manifest this very positive, uplifting energy in form of light that's entering our heart, enlightening our heart, then distributing throughout our body and enlightening our body as well. So we are inside and out, completely immersed in this transcendental energy. So now what happens is mind, naturally wanders away to something else. That is where we have to bring it back to this thought and this thought alone. So at this time, so you can do any other practices, anything that helps you to continue your climb before and after this. This will augment and help other practices. But during this meditation, just focus on the object of concentration here is this transcendental energy. And, Leave all thoughts and everything else aside. Just sit in a relaxed posture with eyes lightly closed and feel the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light that's entering your heart, distributing throughout your body, and you're becoming one with this light. Anytime mind wanders away, just bring it back to this thought and this thought alone. And to help the concentration, we'll start with music, then music will fade away, and we'll go into deep silent meditation, and then we'll come out with music. So we'll transition out with music again. So let's start now.
Happy Saturday, everyone. I will now give a brief overview of the Satsang that you are participating in today. If you direct your attention towards your screen, you'll see the first element is Satsang. Satsang is a scientific method whereby we may obtain peace, light, and love in our life. It requires no physical skill, spiritual accomplishment, or meditation experience to begin this practice. Satsang consists of two words, Sat and Sang. Sat means positive energy, and Sang means to be with or to be in the presence of. Therefore, the word Satsang means to be in the presence of positive energy. The next element is meditation. Meditation is an important part of Satsang. When we meditate, we withdraw consciousness from worldly objects and direct it inwards to focus on a single thought. In doing so, our minds become calm and our thoughts become pure, thereby allowing us to obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. Inner orientation. There are two types of Satsang, inner Satsang and outer Satsang. An example of outer Satsang would be chanting or attending pilgrimages. When we practice outer Satsang, we have the potential to change our behavior. But only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain higher states of consciousness, such as enlightenment, peace, light, and love. The Satsang that you are participating in today is an inner Satsang where we meditate in silence. Group orientation. This special event is structured for group participation. When we meditate as a group, our focus is improved and our personal progress along our spiritual path is expedited. By regularly attending these special events, the benefits of group participation are amplified. Joy and inner happiness. All beings wish to experience joy. Joy is the eternal longing of the soul, but only through the practice of inner Satsang can we obtain a joyous state. Each time we practice Satsang, our inner happiness gradually increases, ultimately culminating in a state of joy that we experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The agenda for today consists of 3 sessions. The informative session, the practice session, you'll receive a lecture about a Satsang topic, the founder, or some relevant spiritual topic. During the practice session, you receive instructions on how to meditate, followed by a period of practice. During the informative session, you have the opportunity to ask questions, or there'll be a panel discussion. Please enjoy today's events. Sanjeevji?
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Happy Saturday, everyone. And good to have you here. I'm glad to be here myself. And, as Eddie mentioned, and as I was describing, this is a very unique method to get to deeper and lasting peace in our lives. At this point, feel free to either unmute yourself, raise your hand, or if you have any questions, just you can put it in a chat as well. So thanks, Jennifer. Luz and Kelly, hello, and everyone else. Hi, Luz. Sorry, you were trying to unmute.
Good morning. Or actually, I keep forgetting that some of us are in different time zones. Happy Saturday. Again, always a wonderful, wonderful meditation today. It was like, I felt it. I don't know if it was the circumstance or I just slept well. I'm not sure, but it was a really great meditation. And I really liked what you said before the meditation, the talk that you gave about how material things are like, it's like baggage as you're going up the mountain. Even if you're an experienced mountaineer or hiker or climber, if you've got all that baggage, it's going to weigh you down. Great. What's the word? Great
Yeah,
metaphor.
yeah, travel
Yeah.
light, right? Travel light. I think we all want to, but don't always do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really imperative, as you said, because it does impede your ability to reach the summit, actually. Um, so it was that resonated with me. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, any other comments anyone wants to share or questions?
Hi, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. I really want to say thank you first and foremost. It really does take a lot. It takes a strong leader and strong leaders, or, a group of people to actually, give stuff for free. And this was very, very, very valuable. So thank you. And like the last girl was speaking, it's very true what she's saying about the whole traveling light, and I think about it as, going up on the mountaintop, how, we can't really carry all this heavy weight on top of us to actually reach like certain levels of success, so we call it, in different areas of our lives. And then I would want to ask the question. I don't have a specific question, but I do want to know, what advice would you best give us throughout your life? What is the best advice that you can give us as a whole for, going about our day to day, especially, after COVID, everybody became very anxious and stuff like that.
So see, the thing is, like, when I look back, there is so much research that has already been done. We always feel that the current culture and current challenges are very unique. Sometimes when I read, like today, what we were talking about was from the 30s. The mind will continue to challenge us and distract us. So mind is like kind of in the middle. It can take you up or down. And depending on, so the natural flow is downwards, slipping and sliding just comes easy. Climbing up is, takes effort. But, it's the pyramid or the mountain or whatever. It's like at the top of the mountain is where, you have gentle breeze and beautiful sights and, the peace and quiet. And if that's what we intend to get to, then we should not get distracted with other things. Just continue our journey towards the top. What I find is the people get distracted, confused, and it's a very simple question. Are we confusing the destination with the method? And believe it or not, a lot of people just get caught up in the process rather than keep the eye on the ball in terms of the goal. Challenges would continue to come. Anything you want to do long term, there will be more and more. It gets tougher, and there will be tough times in anything you want to do. So how do you continue the journey? And the journey or the goal is where I am so abundant with love, light, and peace that I don't have to do anything to share that with others. It's just splashes. It's infectious. It is a state of such abundance that people cannot fathom. And if you can achieve that, then you call yourself a guru or not, you are. And if that state, so a lot of people will say, like, is that even achievable? And fortunately, in this process, I found that yes, it is. And that's what convinces me that it's worth sharing, worth, talking about, worth pursuing myself, and just along the way, just see if with all the distractions. So the distractions and the hurdles are primarily our mind. So control that first, and then the rest should follow. But they are so huge or subtle sometimes that very, very few. So I have been, I'm pursuing this. So I was born into a satsang family, and hence, I have been observing this for all these years. And what I find is that easier said than done. Very, very, very few people get to the top. And that's very unfortunate. With all the guidance, with everything that is possibly researched in the past, our mind just won't let us get there. That's it. That's the big.
Thank you so much. I was thinking about what you're saying, how it gets tougher and tougher, but something came to my mind as it says, tough times never last, but tough people do. And to add to what you were saying, also you were talking about, like all the pieces and obstacles, and the one thing is the mind. Like our mindset just drives us to the place where we want to be. But thank you so much for answering my question.
Absolutely, anytime. Feel free to join, same time, same link. You can join any Saturday at this time. Even Tuesdays we meet at 7 p.m. Eastern. The interesting thing is, like, this 5 steps to this top of the pyramid. If I was to completely simplify it, basically we have multiple tools at our disposal. We need to tone them, purify them, make them strong and capable. And those are body, breathing, mind, brain, and in that sequence, if you do that, it's not necessarily very sequential, but you have to make sure you're healthy, have healthy habits. Breathing, it takes oxygen to the nooks and corners. Mind is the biggest piece. So mind is like double-edged sword. It cuts this way as well as that way. So depends on where you want to focus, where you want to take it. It will help you climb upwards as well as slip downwards. And then the brain. So basically, once the emotions and distractions from the mind fade away, you can, with that concentration, focus, and the mental powers, you can gain so much more, intellectual and psychological capabilities. That then takes you to the next step, which is how do you resolve or dissolve your identity into the bigger, so from limit to limitless, from going from, limited capacity to unlimited capacity, and becoming one with this, collective consciousness. Once you achieve that, that's the final, step. That's it. Then you are the energy. So, yeah. All right. So on that note, we'll see you here soon, and thanks everyone. Namaskar. Namaskar.
Thank you, Sanjeevji.
Namaskar.
Have a good day.
Yep.
Namaste. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
नमस्ते भैया जी।